The other interesting question that came before the synod was, how should we understand Sunday as a Christian Sabbath? A good deal of Puritan writing was coming across the channel and was beginning to have a growing impact on the Dutch churches. And one of the things that the Puritans were stressing in the early 17th century was that Sunday was a Christian Sabbath. That'll eventually be a chapter in the Westminster Confession of Faith on the Christian Sabbath. And so the Synod of Dort was asked, what are we to think about this? And they said, we don't have time to study this exhaustively either, but let us provisionally say a few things. And one of the things that it said provisionally was that we are indeed to rest on Sunday from our ordinary labors. And then said, this day must be so consecrated to worship that on that day we rest from all servile works, except those which charity and present necessity require, and also from all such recreations as interfere with worship. So it was a day to stop work. You could do some recreation, but not if it interfered with worship. And of course that meant worship morning and evening, so the ministers didn't give you much time to get into trouble. And that became one of the great disciplines of the Reformed community. One of the great elements of Reformed contribution to the history of Western Christianity, the notion that Sunday was a Sabbath day. Sunday should be regulated by the fourth commandment of the Ten Commandments. And as a historian, even though this gets us a little off our immediate point of attention, I think when the history of the 20th century is written in America, one of the most remarkable things that happened in the latter 20th century was that Christians gave up on Sunday as a Sabbath. And it has happened almost unremarked, which is really fairly amazing. And I think it has led to a great weakening of our churches, of our families, and of our worship. So go home and keep Sunday as a Sabbath. That's a good place to stop. But the Synod of Dort made a great contribution to the consolidation of the Reformation in the Netherlands, but also had the impact of affecting countries throughout Europe and eventually around the world by the work that it had done.